right now.
Good morning, everybody. It is Monday. It is December 11th.
Thanks for joining us, and we hope you're staying warm like our little fireplace over here.
Yeah, it's a nice toasty way to start a cold day here in South Texas. First light freeze for some folks this morning, Mike.
Yeah, most all of the area is at or well below freezing, especially in parts of the hill country. And we touched it a couple of times in the past hour, but on the top of the hour, freezing out there at the airport. And look at the bottom number. Dew points down to 24, so bone dry air out there. All the ingredients are in place. We have clear skies, bone dry air, and light or no wind. Then a huge warm up throughout the day. We're going to make it up to 65 later on today. The aquifer yesterday went down 0.2 of a foot. The allergens, mountain cedar. Yeah, with all those winds, I was thinking it would be even higher than that. No complaints here, though, but it's on the moderate side. Mold is low. So take a look at some of the freezing temperatures around the area as of right now. Mid-20s in parts of the hill country, 29 Hondo, 25 right now up the road in Balverde. And like I said, we have just touched freezing. Very, very dry air in place. Now, in some areas, there is a slight bit of a breeze. Not much, but when you have temperatures this cold, it doesn't take much to put the wind chill down to 27 out there at the airport. Same thing, Castroville feels like 23 right now in Hondo. And then again, we have a huge warm up throughout the day. Freeze warnings are in effect up until 9 o'clock this morning for all of the area. Clear cold today, just absolutely gorgeous, and mid-60s then, beautiful. Can't ask for a nicer day, kind of like what it was yesterday. It was just absolutely fantastic out there. Now, no more freezes after today because the clouds are going to be moving on in here, and we're going to be in the upper 60s tomorrow. Then we go into the latter half of the week, increasing rain chances, especially on Friday, and it is definitely going to be on the cool side coming up this rest of the week. So yeah, jackets definitely something, especially when you walk outside this morning, and you probably want to warm up the car. Traffic Authority, Mr. Horn is in this morning. Once again, you don't have a jacket on. It's this cold.
You know, it feels good in the studio.
Okay.
When I'm outside, I will, for sure. A big one. It is chilly out there, and this is tire light weather. Don't forget about that. You may see your tire light come on when it gets this cold. It doesn't mean you have a flat or anything like that, but you want to add some air to your tires when temperatures get to this point. As we look out on TransGuide here, roads are pretty open. We had an incident earlier that is cleared at 410 and Crossroads. 90 in Couples looks good. Now we know here in about an hour, so that's going to pick up immensely. But right now, not bad. 281 in San Pedro looks good there too. We don't have any crashes reported at this hour. And as we look at the map, we've got green across the board, just the way we like it. 1604, by the way, reopened after a busy weekend. It was shut down almost the entire weekend, caused some headaches there. But all is good for your Monday morning commute. If anything pops up, we'll let you know, guys.
Thank you, Justin. New this morning, San Antonio police say a man was shot while walking along a street on the city's south side overnight, happened in the 100 block of West Young Street near South Flores. Police say the man was walking when someone in a dark-colored car pulled up, confronted him about some money owed, shot him, and they drove off. SAPD says the man in his 60s was shot in the back and that the bullet went all the way through his body. He was taken to the hospital.
This morning, 3 men and 1 woman are in custody after DPS officials say that a pursuit led to a standoff at a home on the east side last night. Texas Department of Public Safety troopers and Texas Rangers say officers tried to conduct a traffic stop just after 7 p.m. However, the person driving the car refused to pull over and travel to the 500 block of B Street. That's near North Walter Street. There, DPS reports that the suspects holed themselves up in a house. They were eventually in custody about 11 last night. Details about the suspects are not known at this time. However, authorities say one of them has an outstanding warrant. Right now, it's not clear if they lived at that house.
The San Antonio Fire Department was very busy over the weekend. KSAT 12 crews covered 5 different fires across the city yesterday.
As neighbors search for answers on what happened, our Avery Everett shows us how the San Antonio Fire Department says the weather could be partly to blame.
The entire thing was gone.
Even with the flames out,
We got home.
neighbors on the north side say it will be hard to forget this apartment fire on Thousand Oaks Drive.
It's crazy. It was directly next door. We're right next to it. So this is it's pretty mind-blowing.
10 units in the Sunset Canyon apartments destroyed overnight due to a heavy fire. On Sunday, one person being treated for severe burns and several others displaced. This complex now searching for answers.
I can only imagine what it's like to be the people that were inside.
We're reporting no other injuries to any occupants. No one's.
And San Antonio Fire Department Chief Charles Hood says the cause is still under investigation.
But preliminarily, it looks like it's a cooking fire that caused this.
This was just the start of a busy day for SAFD. They continued to 4 other fires across the city. A store on the northwest side, a home on the west side, a commercial building just north of downtown, and another home on the southwest side.
It grew rather quickly.
SAFD saying the dry air and strong winds played a role, and they're warning people across San Antonio to be careful.
All the discarded cigarette butts, kind of embers left in the barbecue pit, become more susceptible to being pushed across and become the ignition source.
Neighbors say after a long day,
it was very scary for me. There's nothing ever going on in this neighborhood, so it was definitely a shock.
They're staying on high alert.
Anything can happen. Anything could go wrong.
SAFD says with the end of the year coming, now's the time to check your smoke detector. We have links to free resources on our website, KSAT.com. Avery Everett, KSAT 12 News.
This morning, the Texas Supreme Court is temporarily halting a lower court's ruling that approved a pregnant mother's request for an emergency abortion.
The Texas Attorney General is disputing the woman's claim that carrying to term could endanger her health. As ABC's Justin Finch reports, the court now reviewing the state attorney general's legal challenge.
This morning, 31-year-old Kate Cox awaiting an answer from the Texas Supreme Court.
There's no outcome here, that results in us taking home a healthy baby girl.
The 20 weeks pregnant Dallas mother of 2 filing suit for an emergency abortion in one of the most restrictive abortion states in the nation. She says her doctors told her that her fetus has a severe condition called trisomy 18 and is unlikely to survive. Cox saying those doctors warn continuing to carry the pregnancy could also jeopardize her health.
Time is of the essence. I mean, the clock is ticking. Every day that goes by, the risks to her health and life and future fertility increase.
Outside the Texas Supreme Courthouse, protesters supporting Cox, rallying after the all-Republican court paused the lower court's ruling approving Cox's emergency abortion request. The state's top prosecutor appealing to the higher court to intervene.
Plaintiffs have not shown that they will suffer an immediate and irreparable injury.
In a court filing, Attorney General Ken Paxton writing Cox's fetal condition does not meet the medical exception in the state's law banning abortions, except if the woman's life is at risk or if it prevents irreversible damage to major bodily function. Paxton also threatening any doctor or hospital, saying that they would face legal consequences if they helped her terminate her pregnancy. Texas is one of 21 states enforcing abortion restrictions since Roe v. Wade was overturned last year. The Cox case and another from Kentucky now among the first cases of pregnant women seeking court orders for abortions since Roe. In Louisville, a pregnant Jane Doe plaintiff seeking an abortion has filed a class action lawsuit arguing Kentucky's near total abortion ban violates rights under the state constitution. Justin Finch, ABC News, Washington.
This morning, Israeli forces now claim they've killed 7,000 Hamas fighters since the war began. More than 18,000 Palestinians have died, and nearly 85% of Gaza's population has reportedly been displaced. Israel is indicating it's willing to fight for months or more to beat Hamas. Meanwhile, new video shows Palestinians scaling the walls of a relief center, trying to swing the doors open for food, while others can be seen chasing a truck distributing water. Secretary of State Antony Blinken tells ABC News the U.S. is working with Israel to try and lower civilian casualties.
The Iowa caucuses are now less than 5 weeks away, and former President Donald Trump is focused on his legal battle in New York. The former president has now abruptly canceled plans to testify at his civil fraud trial today. A new Wall Street Journal poll shows that Trump not just dominating other primary candidates, but in a hypothetical matchup, he also beats President Biden 47 to 43%. Polling also shows that Biden would lose to former South Carolina Governor Nikki Haley by an even wider margin than Trump.
509, 33 degrees.
And Apple is getting ready to launch its Vision Pro headset just ahead when you can expect to see them available to buy.
Plus, there's a nationwide warning about gift card scams. Up next, what you need to look out for as you continue to buy gifts this holiday season.
And a very cold morning to start your day, 33 degrees. Be prepared for that. It's going to stay pretty cold for most of the morning, so get that heavier jacket if you can. We'll be right back. Welcome back. It's 5:13. The holiday season has brought a nationwide warning about gift card scams. ABC's Rhiannon Alley has the details in today's GMA First Look.
In this morning's GMA First Look, a new warning about holiday gift card scams.
They heat up these envelopes to where they can open them as carefully as they can, remove the card, and actually cut the top of the card off.
The latest incident in California, prompting officers to take to social media, showing local residents how the scam works and what to look out for.
We wanted to give you guys the info so you don't fall victim to the scam as well.
Nicole Randall from Ohio says in 2021, she bought her husband a $100 Amazon gift card for Christmas. But when they opened the packaging, the card was cut in half.
They make just the tiniest little slit in the side that you have no idea.
And coming up at 7 a.m., we'll have the expert guidance you need to keep those holiday gift cards safe from scammers. With your GMA First Look, I'm Rhiannon Alley, ABC News, New York.
5:14, Mike says we're down to 32 degrees.
And coming up next, Tesla will release its 2023 holiday update this week with a few big changes.
And next, what you need to know about the first original anime production to top the domestic box office here in North America.
I know I can count on you. You got love. 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 Sometimes I feel like
Pandora loves Unboxed. Receive a limited edition bracelet for free as our special gift to you.
Honey.
NyQuil Severe Honey. Powerful cold and flu relief with a dreamy honey taste. NyQuil Honey. The nighttime sniffling, sneezing, coughing, aching, fever, honeylicious, best sleep with a cold medicine.
Versace, Bright Crystal. At Macy's, the fragrance destination.
5:18, Apple is ramping up preparation for the launch of its Vision Pro headset. ABC's Rhiannon Alley has the details in today's Tech Bites.
In today's Tech Bites, the Apple Vision Pro headset is expected to be released as early as next month. Bloomberg reports that Apple is setting up Vision Prop training sessions for select retail workers in January. Vision Pro is a spatial computer controlled with the user's eyes, hands, and voice. Next, Tesla is releasing its 2023 holiday update this week. It will allow Teslas to call 911 automatically if the car's airbags are deployed in a crash. Other features include support for Apple Podcasts and an updated version of parking assistance with 3D visuals. And a first at the box office. The Boy and the Heron was tops over the weekend, earning $12.8 million. The coming-of-age story is the first original anime production to finish #1 in the domestic box office race, beating out the Hunger Games prequel. Those are your Tech Bites. I'm Rhiannon Alley. Have a great day.
5:19. I thought of another old school tip this morning since it's cold out there. If you did any driving yesterday, bang on the hood this morning. It's very possible that animals might have gone up underneath and cozied up next to your engine block.
Right before you start it.
Good point. Watch the space heaters too. We were talking about that earlier this morning. So just be really careful.
It's that time of year. You got to be careful with all that stuff. It is chilly out there. You may want to turn on the heater as soon as you get in the car. Let it warm up a little bit. Let's take you first to look at gas prices. I want to show this where we are. I always want to say 2.57, $2.57. It's my science mind kicking in. And we compare that to a year ago, and it actually is about the same. We haven't had a whole lot of change in gas price there. And then the $2.62 for the state was $2.72 a year ago. And then for the for the country, Gosh, $3.15. A year ago it was $3.28. So there you go. There are the gas prices for today. As we look out on TransGuide, not a lot of problems going on as we look at 281 in San Pedro. Actually, really quiet. We do know that it will pick up within the hour. It's usually right around 6:30 or so where things really start getting busy. I-10 and West looks good there too. We do not have any crashes reported across the city. I-10 and Medical looks good too. And 1604 on the northwest side has reopened. So it is smooth sailing this morning. Mike.
It's an honest mistake. Blame it on the cold that you're saying.
Yes.
3.15. Anyway,
Yes,
thank you, sir.
I will blame it on the cold.
He's not a fan of the cold, by the way. Great picture of the sunset over there at Canyon Lake. Absolutely gorgeous. Saturday was a beautiful day. Yesterday was a beautiful day. Today is going to be a spectacularly beautiful day. Look at the how crystal clear the lights are. I know that camera kind of froze right there, but we have such dry air in place, and so you can just see for miles, and the lights are just sort of very bright and twinkly out there. We are at freezing right now. I think we dipped down a couple of more notches before it's all said and done, and then a very quick warm up this morning. We're going to be gaining 30 degrees throughout the course of the morning, and then top off at 65. So that's a normal high temperature. Obviously, we are way below normal by, normal low is 43. So a good 10, 15 degrees on average all around the area. All right, got to jump ahead to the future. Starting off Wednesday. Now we get more clouds tonight, and that's going to hold temperature. It's going to be like a little bit of a blanket. So we're not going to be hitting freezing tomorrow morning. Still going to be chilly, and it's going to be chilly all week long. And then we have some rain chances moving on in here. So by Wednesday afternoon, and again, always have to say broad brush with these long-range computer models. This is kind of the opportunity for some rain around here, but that'll be Wednesday. Then it sort of tapers off a little bit overnight into Thursday. A couple more rain chances then on Thursday early on in the day, maybe tapering somewhat. Still some of that left over there in portions of the hill country. Then we get into Friday, and that's when we've got a better disturbance moving across the area. As you can see, the majority of that rain is further up to the north of us, but this is going to be during the day on Friday. So it looks like Friday is going to be the best opportunity for some rain around here. Then that's going to start to work its way on out of here. And there could be a wraparound by Saturday. I kind of doubt that. I'm taking in really any rain chances, maybe leftover out of the forecast, leftover on Friday night, but taking it out of the forecast. Anything for Saturday, we'll just have some clouds left over around here. Now, as far as what to expect, this is the long range, the next 5 days, and this is Wednesday basically through Friday, and we're looking at on average 1 to 2 inches of rain, more northwest of the hill country, and as that moves across the area, then especially on Friday in and around town, we're looking at, again, one little bit better than that, 1 inch of rain. Obviously, there's going to be some pockets with some heavier downpours. This is going to be changing over the next few days as more information comes on in here, but that's what we can expect as of right now. And I guess the best way to sum it up is decent rain chance, and one of the best chances of some pretty good rain that we've had around here in a long time. Today, just a spectacular day, 65 degrees. Tomorrow, 40. Still going to be chilly, and it's going to be cool. Tomorrow will be the warmest day, up to 68 degrees. And then with the cloud cover and the rain, obviously temperatures aren't going to be moving all that much from morning to night, and will only be at 60, even the upper 50s on Friday. So cold rain, and it's looking promising. This is really, really nice forecast as far as the rain is concerned.
Yeah, we've been needing the rain. We've been hoping.
Yes.
Here it is.
And freezing temperatures today, just rain the end of the week. The two shall not meet.
Thank you for directing traffic this morning.
That's good. Yes.
524, 33 degrees.
Up next, why Chris Rock is reportedly turning down the Golden Globes hosting gig, plus how Wonka is already scoring overseas.
The Golden Globes need a new host, plus Wonka is already finding sweet success overseas.
Here's CNN's David Daniel with today's Hollywood Minute.
Less than a month from the Golden Globes, the award show is still looking for a host. Sources tell CNN Chris Rock, who was slapped by Will Smith in his last big award show appearance, has declined an offer to host, as have other comic actors. And previous hosts Tina Fey and Amy Poehler have promised they're not returning in that role. The Golden Globes are scheduled for January 7th.
I got an idea.
Where do we start?
Making chocolate, of course.
Wonka is off to a sweet start. The origin story of the iconic chocolatier and the Oompa Loompas led the international weekend box office, racking up $43.2 million in 37 markets, including the United Kingdom, Japan, Mexico, Spain, and Germany. Wonka debuts in the U.S. and 40 more international markets Friday. The Los Angeles Film Critics Association has named The Zone of Interest as its Best Picture of the Year. Star Sandra Hüller was also honored by the LA critics. Oppenheimer was runner-up in the group's voting. The winners will pick up their prizes at the association's annual banquet January 13th. In Hollywood, I'm David Daniel.
I was reading an article this weekend, and British actor Hugh Grant apparently said he was grumpy while filming Wonka, and apparently the director and the producers was like, nah, that's exactly what we wanted. We wanted a grumpy Oompa Loompa.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Okay, well, it worked out then.
It did work out.
That's funny.
528, 32 degrees.
There's a multi-billion-dollar dilemma in Washington, D.C., and the clock is ticking. Up next, why negotiations over immigration and border policy are still in limbo.
And ahead on GMSA at 6, the title of Mrs. United World has come to the Alamo City. We'll meet a military spouse leading the way to help those who serve our country. Hey there, good morning. It's Monday, December 11th. Our producer, Hardy Meredith, was nice enough to build us a fire this morning. We just had one more request, Hardy, who's listening, obviously. Is there still any homemade hot chocolate left from last night?
Oh,
Just a little bit.
What about marshmallows? Oh, those are gone.
Marshmallows are gone. Thank you, Hardy.
This is an oatmeal kind of a morning.
It is.
Nice and warm.
I bought a multi-pack of cream of wheat, and I just was craving that from my childhood, and I haven't used it yet, so maybe when I get home today.
Yeah, that's a good option.
Yeah.
Still be cold.
I loved cream of wheat as a kid. Wasn't that good? Did you like it?
It's okay.
Anyway. But it's one of those, my mom always used to say, a little fuel in the furnace this morning, because it is definitely cold out there. And we have got, look at the clear skies. Yeah, just all the twinkling lights and the smokestacks over there at the quarry, dressed up for Hanukkah right now in blue. And then, of course, there it is at the Concord Plaza. I love that Christmas tree on the side of the building. Temperature at the airport officially at 32 degrees, dew point 24. So bone dry air out there, a little bit of a breeze. And with these temperatures, doesn't take much for wind chill. 26 right now. This is the actual air temperature up there in Comfort. 25 Bulverde. So you're winning the prize as of right now for the coldest temperature. Freezing all around the metropolitan area, going up in toward New Braunfels. 29 at Hondo. And again, mostly just no wind at all. Clear skies, dry air, no wind. Perfect radiational cooling situation. And where there is a wind, you get 27 for a wind chill right now, and 23 is what it feels like over there in Hondo. So needless to say, bundle up this morning, and a lot of cream of wheat and oatmeal. Freeze warnings in effect for all of the area up until 9 o'clock. May not touch freezing down to the southeast, but of course that warning still in effect. 60 at noon. Big warm up throughout the day. We're going to be gaining about 30 degrees between now and noon, and then top off at 65 right there at a normal high temperature after the very, very cold start. This will be it as far as hitting freezing temperatures this week. And then we do have some improving rain chances. So very good news as far as that's concerned in the forecast. Details in just a couple of minutes. Traffic Authority, anything going on yet, sir?
No, nothing. And occasionally, Mike, we get the question, is there any ice or anything like that?
No.
Absolutely not. It is dry. There is no concerns there unless someone leaves a sprinkler on or something and then there's some water in the road. But otherwise, safe travels this morning. Just awful cold, as Mike pointed out. 35 at San Marcos. Looks good there. All traffic is moving at posted speeds at this point. We are noticing a little bit of pickup in the traffic, which you would expect. 35 at Space Center, also looking good, and the map is completely clear this morning. And 1604 has reopened there on the northwest side. So we are still dealing with some smooth sailing. Know that here within the next hour, though, it will get quite a bit more busy. Guys?
Thank you, Justin. Today, the trial of a woman accused of starving her child, causing her to weigh just 19 pounds at age 6, is scheduled to begin. 36-year-old Jennifer Marie Delgado is charged with injury to a child causing serious bodily injury. This happened back in 2018. Her trial taking place in the 227th District Court. San Antonio police say the girl, who was diagnosed with cerebral palsy, was severely malnourished and neglected. An arrest warrant affidavit states Delgado took the then 6-year-old to Christus Children's on December 3rd, 2018 because the girl was quote unquote blue. Police said Delgado had not taken the girl to a clinic since April of 2017 and that the girl appeared to have been neglected for several months. If convicted, Delgado faces 5 to 99 years or life in prison. President Joe Biden is welcoming Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky to the White House tomorrow.
This visit comes as Congress is in a stalemate over a funding package that does, in part, have money earmarked for Ukraine. And as CNN's John Lawrence reports, members of the Biden administration have warned about the potential consequences for Ukraine if Congress does not pass additional aid.
There's a multi-billion-dollar dilemma in Washington, D.C., and the clock is ticking.
Right now, the push and pull is really a political push and pull rather than anything else.
Negotiations over linking immigration and border policy changes to the emergency aid package are in limbo.
If I were a cynic, I would say that Republicans have decided to tie support for Ukraine to immigration reform because they want Ukraine aid to fail.
Last week, President Biden said he's willing to make a compromise with the GOP on border security, but so far there's been no sign of a deal.
It's not just Republicans that are holding a hard line. It's Democrats who are holding a hard line. Either side can move and can get this done.
House Republicans are demanding the Senate negotiated deal be similar to the H.R. 2 bill that passed through the House earlier this year. Many Democrats, including the president, say that's a bridge too far.
We are ready to pass a package that includes foreign aid, but to tie it to extreme Republican proposals around the border is absolutely wrong. And I think we're standing up and saying that is not acceptable to us.
Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky is meeting with President Biden Tuesday. According to a White House statement, the two leaders are expected to discuss, quote, the vital importance of the United States' continued support at this critical moment. I'm John Lawrence reporting.
Texas Governor Greg Abbott participated in a menorah lighting ceremony in Austin last night on the fourth night of Hanukkah. Rabbis and other members of the Jewish community joined Abbott and other faith leaders for the ceremony. Abbott has participated in other menorah lighting ceremonies during his time in office. This year's event comes as Israel battles Hamas in Gaza. The war is now in its second month. The conflict has sparked a rise in anti-Semitism anti-Islam attacks across the United States.
Elon Musk says he is restoring the account of Alex Jones on the social media platform X. The move comes after the results of an unscientific poll to Musk's account, asking users if the account should be reinstated. Jones, a conspiracy theorist, was barred from the platform in 2018 after he repeatedly broke rules prohibiting harassment and hate. Musk said about 70% of people in his poll voted to support Jones's reinstatement.
5:38, and at last check, we were still right around freezing out at San Antonio International Airport.
And with inflation, construction, and other factors, many San Antonio area businesses have had it rough this year. Up next, how the San Antonio Chamber of Commerce is addressing concerns from those affected most.
Hope you brought in the plants last night, tender vegetation, and gave the pets a nice warm place to sleep. It is cold this morning, one of the coolest mornings of the season so far. You're watching GMSA. Just about 5:42, 2023 is coming to an end, and for so many local small businesses around the country and around San Antonio, it has been a tough year.
San Antonio Hispanic Chamber of Commerce CEO Junior Trevino joined us on Leading SA this weekend to talk about how the Chamber's 700-member businesses plan will finish the year strong.
Yes, J.R. Trevino joined us. We talked about a lot. We talked about what so many small businesses around the country and around San Antonio have had to deal with through 2023. We talked about the pervasive issue that is inflation and how it's caused some small business to even close. Now, we also talked about the outlook for 2024. So many businesses had to endure so much financially over the last 12 months. So here's a look at what we can expect next year.
The reality is that we're hopeful. You know, small businesses will persevere, and everything that we're looking at, all the indicators are saying the interest rates should come down, the inflation should come back a little bit, and any little bit of help that we can get for our members is something that anybody will appreciate.
J.R. Trevino talked about so much more, too. You can check out the full conversation right now. Just head to the Leading SA section of KSAT.com. Of course, we have the Leading SA every Sunday morning at 8 a.m. So, guys, we'll see you next Sunday. Back to you.
And the time now is still, I was going to say the time is 5:43, but we're still at 32 degrees outside.
A powerful storm system that spawned deadly tornadoes across the south is now hitting the northeast U.S. Up next, we'll take you to where at least 26 tornadoes were reported and how the storm is now affecting travel with lots and lots of snow.
And looking out here with TransGuide, no snow on the roadways, but just very cold outside. Be prepared for that, and we'll get a check-in with Justin Horn about your commute coming up. A storm system that brought deadly tornadoes in the south now triggering flood alerts in much of the northeast.
And now, as ABC's Andrew Dimbert reports, we're seeing just how destructive those storms were over the weekend.
This morning, the powerful storm system that spawned deadly tornadoes across the south is hitting the northeast, dumping up to 6 inches of rain from New York City to Boston and up to 5 inches of snow in higher elevations of the interior northeast.
In the wake of it, cold air oozing in, and well, that's what's going to change that rain to snow for all as we go into the overnight hours or through the overnight hours. And in the wake of this storm, we'll get a little bit of lake effect.
In Tennessee, at least 6 people are dead, including 2 children. A mother and her 2-year-old son were killed when the storm hit these mobile homes. At least 26 tornadoes were reported across the region Saturday and Sunday, packing winds up to 150 miles per hour. The storm's causing tens of thousands of power outages. This fireball erupting at a power station outside Nashville. And this picture shows the damage at a different substation.
I heard behind me it sounded like a freight train.
Luke Dill says a tornado approached his home in Clarksville, Tennessee, as he was putting his son into his car seat.
I look up in the sky, and the entire sky across the street is just spinning. And I'm looking at it, and the wind is picking up. I can see the debris starting to fly. I pulled my son out as fast as I could. We ran inside, my 2 sons and my wife and I. We jumped in the bathroom, and then we just started praying to Jesus.
More than 360 homes and buildings are badly damaged or destroyed. A twister slammed into this Nashville church with dozens of people inside. Some suffered broken bones and legs.
We get to say good morning to our loved ones again.
In North Carolina, a tornado tore down trees near Raleigh, damaging homes in this neighborhood. And at the North Carolina State women's basketball game, rainwater began leaking onto the court, resulting in a 20-minute delay. Andrew Dimbert, ABC News, New York.
Just incredibly busy weather over the weekend. Very sad situation there in Tennessee. All that weather, of course, moving east, and we've got clear conditions here in San Antonio, and it's cold. But no problems on the roads. We're noticing traffic is starting to pick up in the normal spots. I-37 there looks good, 410 Jackson Killer. Volume is beginning to pick up as far as the amount of cars on the road. But so far, no crashes this morning. It's been a good Monday morning with regards to that morning commute. As we look at the map here, still all green. No slowdowns. We're not seeing that anywhere. And again, 1604 on the northwest side is reopened. And so a lot better traffic up there. It was kind of a nightmare over the weekend, which we knew it was coming, but still caused a lot of problems.
It sure did. I went way out of my way this weekend to avoid all that mess several times.
Yeah, I believe it. Yeah.
Well, the cold front came through right on schedule, late, maybe a little bit delayed Saturday. Cleared out nicely. It was windy. Yesterday was beautiful. Today is going to be fantastic. But the cold air has definitely settled on in here, and it just really adds to that picture, I think. The nice fall colors right there. Thank you very much. What a great shot. That little dry creek bed there and some of the leaves changing. Love that. All right, today is just going to be spectacular looking. Look at how the lights are just twinkling out there. We've got such dry air, and that's why those lights are so visible out there. And again, we're looking at the smokestacks at the quarry and the Christmas tree over there by the Concord Center. Here's what's going on as far as the upper level winds are concerned. So we had that front move on through here. We've got this nice flow coming in here from the northwest. The colder air has moved on in, and that's why, again, things are so cold around here, and we don't really have any wind to deal with. Dry air, those clear skies as you saw. So that's going to be the case today with the beautiful weather. Cold cold air basically stays in place, but we're not going to be as cold tomorrow because we are going to have a little bit more humidity move on in here and some more clouds overnight. Then we've got this low developing out there to the west of us. Now, this is one of those, as you can see that circle right there, we call it a cutoff low. These things are notorious for sort of having a mind of their own, but as it looks right now, it will work its way in our direction. If it moves a little bit further to the south, a little bit further to the north, obviously that is going to change the long-range forecast. But as of right now, this will move across the area as we go on in, starting really Wednesday with rain chances, and then through Friday, then it's going to be out of here. Now, like I said, one little change, one little shift in its exact path, that can change the forecast quite a bit. But here's what it looks like right now as far as Wednesday. We have more clouds tomorrow, and then Wednesday we have some rain chances moving on in here. About a 30% chance for some rain on Wednesday. And again, this long-range computer model tends to paint with a broad brush. Then Thursday, another rain chance, tapers a little bit in the afternoon. Best chance of rain right now is going to be on Friday, and this will be pretty much through the day going into Friday evening. The majority of that up to the north, working its way across here, maybe even a thunderstorm thrown in or two, and then that's going to work its way on out of here. As far as who's going to see the majority of the rain here in town, we are looking at, this is the quantitative precipitation forecast from the long range, if you will. And what this means is about an inch to a little bit more than that in and around town, more in portions of the hill country, lesser amounts down to the south. But the nice thing about it is this is a great looking forecast, one of the best chances of rain we've had around here in a long time. Back to today, very cold this morning, clear skies, huge warm up this morning. We're going to be gaining anywhere from 25 to 30 degrees throughout the course of the morning, and then top off at 65 later on today. Then as we go on into the next couple of days, like I said, no freeze tomorrow because we're going to have a little more humidity around here, as well as some cloud cover overnight and lots of clouds around. Then Wednesday, chance of rain. A little bit better shot at rain Thursday, to be overnight into early Thursday, and then Friday, the best chance for rain right now. It's going to be cold rain out there. I mean, temperatures only in the basically mid-upper 50s around, but just want to emphasize, nothing, we're done with the freezing after this morning, nothing thrown in with that, just good old-fashioned wet rain.
It worked out.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it worked out perfectly.
We'll take it. Thank you, Mike.
5:53, about 32, 34 degrees. Put it all on red or black.
It's cold. Looking at your winning lotto numbers, pick 3183, Powerball 6, Daily 4, 8505, Powerball 8.
Yeah, these numbers are certain. Cash 5 numbers 4, 14, 15, 18, 23. Lotto Texas 13, 19, 33, 35, 37, 52. And Powerball 5, 25, 26, 40, 60. Powerball 1, Power Play 2.
Good morning. Coming up on GMA, the latest on a story you've been following. Deadly tornadoes ripped through Tennessee, destroying houses and homes. Coming up, I'll have the latest on the forecast and the cold air to follow.
Time is running out to donate a pair of new shoes or socks to the Share the Shoes campaign. It's through the organization Zapatos, and it actually ends tomorrow. You can drop off those donations at any of the 7 SAPD substations. They need shoes and socks for toddlers to adult sizes. All this information is on KSAT.com. Ahead in the next hour of GMSA, 4 people behind bars this morning after a car crash turned into a standoff on the city's east side. How it all ended overnight. Plus, a busy Sunday for San Antonio fire crews, now searching for answers on what caused a devastating apartment fire. And up next, there's one San Antonio area team still standing in the quest for a state football championship. We'll look at Smithson Valley's run to state ahead of this week's title game. And checking traffic right now, I-10 at West Avenue. Justin Horn is handling traffic duties. We'll talk to him coming up at the top of the hour.
Rise and shines about 6 a.m. Very cold outside to start your day. We are at about 32 degrees right now, or actually, is it 33 or 32, Mike, right now? 33, yes. But not 34 like it says there on your screen.
Live from KSAT 12, Good Morning San Antonio starts right now.
See, and I was thinking it's 35. Good morning, everybody. It's 6 a.m. on your Monday, December 11th.
Thanks for joining us. Either way, very cold. Pack a heavier jacket for the morning hours for sure.
Mike Osterhage is here with more on our approximate temperatures this morning.
That's basically the thermometer reading here at the station, but at the airport officially 33 degrees right now. I've been kind of going back and forth for the past hour and a half, 32. You know, it fluctuates a little bit. We've got that breeze out there. However you slice it, it's cold, and we've got a wind chill to deal with as well. Clear skies. It's going to be a really, really spectacular sunrise this morning, and like I said, we're at 33 right now. Got a bad thermometer out there at Helotes. It is not 45, but 24, so we've actually dropped slightly at Bulverde, 26 in Comfort, and right at freezing in Castroville. Port SA is now at 31. There is a hint of a breeze out there, though, so it feels like 29 degrees, and what that does, the breeze doesn't allow the coldest air, keeps the atmosphere stirred up just a little bit, so that's why temperatures tend to fluctuate a little bit. If you had no air or no wind at all, pardon me, that would allow the coldest, heaviest air, which it's doing out in the hill country, to settle down here to the surface. We do have freeze warnings in effect for all of the area up until 9 o'clock this morning, and temperatures are going to be warming up very quickly. I think we're going to be going for touching 30 degrees when it's all said and done around here, banking on the wind to really slacken off, and then up to 60 at noon. So we gain 25, 30 degrees over the course of the morning. Top off at 65 later on today. An absolutely spectacular day. Last time we hit freezing, at least this week. We've got some clouds, some more moisture moving on in here, and some decent rain chances too. This is an encouraging forecast later on in the week. More on that in just a couple of minutes. Traffic Authority, Justin Horn is behind the wheel this morning. Warm up your car, right?
Yeah, I felt like you guys were playing The Price is Right over there. I'm going to bid $1 to get the Showcase Showdown. All right, warm up your car this morning. Keep in mind your tire light may come on because it is cold. Don't forget to inflate the tires. And as we look outside with TransGuide, we're still doing really well out here. 410 Jackson Keller. Traffic, yes, is picking up. I've seen a few brake lights here and there. We've got a stalled car at 410 in Palo Alto. But other than that, good for a Monday morning, just the way you like it. Crank up the heater and enjoy your commute to work. I'm sure a lot of people have some coffee with them as well. Look at the map here, and it is all clear. Green across the board. If that changes, we'll be the first to let you know. Otherwise, if you're getting out the door right now, no problems at all. Guys?
Thank you, Justin. New this morning, San Antonio police are investigating an overnight shooting on the city's west side. This happened just after 1 a.m. on North Zarzamora Street and Culebra Road. San Antonio police tell us that a man was driving through when he was flagged down by two men. And after he slowed down, police say he was shot in the leg by those suspects who ran off. The man was taken to University Hospital and is expected to be okay. No word yet on the suspect's description.
Two people are in the hospital this morning after a head-on crash on the city's east side. Happened just before 11:30 last night on the North New Braunfels Bridge. A man and woman in an SUV collided with a man in a pickup truck with a child in the back seat. Fire crews had to cut open the SUV to rescue the man and woman, and both were taken to the hospital. Both are expected to be okay.
New this morning, 3 men and 1 woman are in custody after officials say a car chase led to a standoff at a home on the east side last night. So Texas Department of Public Safety troopers and Texas Rangers tell us that officers try to conduct a traffic stop. This was about 7:20 last night. However, the person driving the car refused to pull over and traveled to the 500 block of B Street near North Walters. And there, DPS says the suspects holed up in a house. They were all taken into custody before 11 p.m. last night. Details about the suspects are not known at this time. However, authorities tell us that one of them had an outstanding warrant. It's not clear if they lived at that house.
Well, this past Sunday kept San Antonio Fire Department very, very busy. KSAT 12 crews covered 5 different fires across the Alamo City.
As neighbors search for answers on what happened, our Avery Everett shows us how the fire department says the weather could take part of the blame.
The entire thing was gone.
Even with the flames out,
we got home.
Neighbors on the north side say it will be hard to forget this apartment fire on Thousand Oaks Drive.
It's crazy. It was directly next door. We're right next to it. So this is it's pretty mind-blowing.
10 units in the Sunset Canyon apartments destroyed overnight due to a heavy fire. On Sunday, 1 person being treated for severe burns and several others displaced. This complex now searching for answers.
I can only imagine what it's like to be the people that were inside.
We're reporting no other injuries to any occupants.
And San Antonio Fire Department Chief Charles Hood says the cause is still under investigation.
But preliminarily, it looks like it's a cooking fire that caused this.
This was just the start of a busy day for SAFD. They continued to 4 other fires across the city. A store on the northwest side, a home on the west side, a commercial building just north of downtown, and another home on the southwest side.
It grew rather quickly.
SAFD saying the dry air and strong winds played a role, and they're warning people across San Antonio to be careful.
All the discarded cigarette butts, kind of embers left in the barbecue pit, have become more susceptible to being pushed across and become the ignition source.
Neighbors say after a long day,
it was very scary for me. There's nothing ever going on in this neighborhood, so it was definitely a shock.
They're staying on high alert.
Anything can happen. Anything could go wrong.
SAFD says with the end of the year coming, now's the time to check your smoke detector. We have links to free resources on our website, KSAT.com. Avery Everett, KSAT 12 News.
Topping your morning headlines, at least 6 people are dead. Dozens are injured in Middle Tennessee after tornadoes swept through several towns and cities over the weekend. The National Weather Service says an EF2 tornado tore through Madison, Hendersonville, and Gallatin on Saturday. The storm packed winds up to 125 miles an hour. And an even more powerful tornado labeled an EF3 destroyed parts of Clarksville. At least 26 different deadly tornadoes have hit the U.S. so far in 2023, the most since 2011.
The Texas Supreme Court is temporarily halting a lower court's ruling that approved a pregnant mother's request for an emergency abortion.
As ABC's Justin Finch reports, State Attorney General Ken Paxton is disputing the woman's claim that carrying to term could endanger her health.
This morning, 31-year-old Kate Cox awaiting an answer from the Texas Supreme Court.
There's no outcome here, that results in us taking home a healthy baby girl.
The 20 weeks pregnant Dallas mother of 2 filing suit for an emergency abortion in one of the most restrictive abortion states in the nation. She says her doctors told her that her fetus has a severe condition called trisomy 18 and is unlikely to survive. Cox saying those doctors warn continuing to carry the pregnancy could also jeopardize her health.
Time is of the essence. I mean, the clock is ticking. Every day that goes by, the risks to her health and life and future fertility increase.
Outside the Texas Supreme Courthouse, protesters supporting Cox, rallying after the all-Republican court paused the lower court's ruling approving Cox's emergency abortion request. The state's top prosecutor appealing to the higher court to intervene.
Plaintiffs have not shown that they will suffer an immediate and irreparable injury.
In a court filing, Attorney General Ken Paxton writing Cox's fetal condition does not meet the medical exception in the state's law banning abortions, except if the woman's life is at risk or if it prevents irreversible damage to major bodily function. Paxton also threatening any doctor or hospital, saying that they would face legal consequences if they helped her terminate her pregnancy. Texas is one of 21 states enforcing abortion restrictions since Roe v. Wade was overturned last year. The Cox case and another from Kentucky now among the first cases of pregnant women seeking court orders for abortions since Roe. In Louisville, a pregnant Jane Doe plaintiff seeking an abortion has filed a class action lawsuit arguing Kentucky's near total abortion ban violates rights under the state constitution. Justin Finch, ABC News, Washington.
609, 34 degrees.
And after the break, there is one San Antonio area team still standing in the quest for a state football championship. We're going to look at Smithson Valley's run to state ahead of this week's title game.
Outside with live cam. Yeah, lower 30s across a wide swath of the viewing area. There are some 20s way out in the hill country. Mike will wrap all those current temperatures up a little later in the newscast.